People are worried about what's going on with AI. AI therapy is affording $40 therapy sessions. They have a human sound voice. They have these human mannerisms. This could be competitive to other therapists. It's going to keep you on your toes. Hi there. Thank you for providing this platform. I graduate with my PsyD in 2029. Let's go. So you got a couple more years to go. There has been a lot of talk about AI replacing many careers. Do you anticipate this trend happening for psychologists? Okay, so this is a wonderful question. I actually had this on my notes to talk about as well. People are worried about what's going on with AI. There's obviously a lot of benefit and pros of AI. There's pretty significant cons too. Here's what I'll say with the AI replacing many careers. Right now, there are apps, there are platforms. We can see AI therapists where they have a human sound voice and they have these human mannerisms in terms of the avatar or who you're talking to. I will say, like, even in ChatGPT, there's obviously other different types of platforms that use AI. Right now, AI has all of the extensive knowledge as a therapist. Now, there's a couple things that's off, right? So you can give ChatGPT a clinical case. It will come up with pretty good recommendations, pretty good questions, pretty good assessments, skill-based thinking, just like a therapist. And the benefit of AI is that it has so much knowledge and so much information. It is the smartest therapist that we have, technically. It has all of the information of online books, courses, seminars, workshops in this type of technology. And then when they combine it with an avatar that looks human and sounds human, when it comes to virtual therapy, I think this could be competitive to other therapists. However, if you look at the research, and we've seen the research when it comes to therapy, therapy is not just about education. It's not just about knowledge. It's not just about wisdom. It's about connection. People go to their therapist not just because they're wise or they ask good questions. They go to their therapist because they like their therapist. They like who they're talking to. They like something about them, maybe the way that they look, the way that they talk, maybe they have a good therapeutic alliance and a rapport with this therapist. And that has been shown. There's like a 35% success rate when people, more of a success rate when people really like their therapist. They tend to go to their therapist longer. They tend to get better outcomes. That is the human connection, the human relationship that we have professionally with our clients and our patients is king. And so I will say that what's going to be really interesting is that technically there's a couple things that's happening. Therapy is expensive. Not everyone has insurance. And AI therapy could provide affordable options for people who cannot afford therapy. Technically, because of the wide array of knowledge and wisdom that AI therapy can provide, and if you're not careful, you might forget that this person is actually not real. There could be some competition, especially if AI therapy is affording $40 therapy sessions while your therapist online at Psychology Today is offering $250 per session. And so from an affordability perspective, they will compete with therapists. However, they may not get better outcomes. They might get outcomes to a certain point, but they may not get the full range of outcomes because what matters the most is connecting with a real human being. And I can't imagine being a client and talking to an AI therapist and knowing in the back of my mind that this person isn't real and still forming some type of connection. Now, we do see a lot of people forming connection with AI in all sorts of ways. People are marrying AI things, right? Like there are people who can forget that this thing isn't real and actually form really deep emotional bonds and connections with it. But I think for the average population that knows that it's not real, that knows that it's not fully genuine, it's not fully authentic, I don't think those people are actually going to get the best outcomes with therapy. And I think more people are still going to be inclined to meet with a real therapist. However, for therapists who are not good, so below average therapists, master's level clinical social workers, licensed professional counselors, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, for those who have bad ratings or who are actually not great therapists, if I'm being completely honest, if I'm a client, if I'm a patient, I would rather go to AI therapist than a bad human therapist. I think a good AI therapist is better than a bad, real human being therapist. And so I think the competition will just get better in that people who are not good at therapy will basically make less money because AI therapists will just be out competing them. However, for the people who actually know what they're doing, who are good therapists, who can build really solid, good connections with their patients and their clients, they're still going to be able to make money. They're still going to be able to have a full caseload, but it's going to keep you on your toes. So if I am someone that is thinking about a PsyD or a PhD program, just keep in mind that the best thing about AI is that you can use it as an assistant, right? So you got to be careful about PHI and HIPAA and all of those things. But if I'm thinking about a hard, difficult case, I can put it in ChatGPT and see what options it's going to give me, or what questions that I can ask, right? Or maybe how I can do this better, or how I can do this better. You can use it as a tool, you can use it as a consultant, and that could actually make you better as a therapist itself. And I think we should be using AI right now as therapists, because that is where things are going. That is the future, essentially. So how we use it is important, and also just keeping in mind that it's going to outcompete some of these other therapists who are not using AI and who are also not good therapists themselves. Now, I was having a really interesting discussion with another psychologist about this too, in that what happens when, let's say for me as a psychologist, I want to know what you all think about this. What happens when I can take an avatar of myself? And this is already happening. There are celebrities who have avatars that can do commercials when they're not there, right? Because they can take your voice, they can take what you look like, and they can create a whole commercial, and you don't have to be there in person. You don't have to fly out to Dubai. You don't have to fly out to the UK. You can just give your rights away to this avatar that looks like you, talks like you, and then they can create all of these commercials with that, and you can get money basically just not being there in person. What if the same becomes accessible to therapists or other professions, where you can create this avatar of yourself that looks like you, talks like you, basically is you, but it's not actually you, and you can use it to then basically do therapy sessions with clients, where maybe for those who can't afford your rates, they can maybe afford the rates of an AI therapist, maybe $30, maybe $40, maybe $50, right? Whereas maybe you're charging something like $200 or $250. And now instead of group practices, it's these practices that are not hiring real people, they're hiring basically AI versions of themselves. The benefit of that is that you don't have to pay for people's health insurance, you don't have to pay for their sick leave, their PTO, and you can have this AI version that just works 24/7 for you. And then you could also write it off as a business expense, right? So there's now, here's the thing, I'm not advocating for this, I'm not saying that this is good, I'm just saying that this might be where we're heading in this field. So I think you should kind of keep in mind that if you want to work in a group practice, what are some of the values of the group practice in terms of what they want and what they want to do. And then also for hospitals, I work in a hospital, we're already kind of using AI in terms of our job. Most jobs, most private sectors are using AI to some extent in their jobs. And I think you have to think about, okay, what is going to be the progression and the transformation and the evolution of this thing, and how is it actually going to impact my job? I think the best thing that you can do for yourself is to continue to build your skill sets, be the best therapist, the best psychologist, the best counselor, the best psychiatrist that you can be. But please be using AI as well, because the better you can use AI, the better it can actually benefit you. Don't use it unethically, don't use it immorally or anything like that, but use it for the betterment of assisting you in becoming better at what you are already doing. So, long answer short, I know that was actually a really long answer to your question. I think that yes, it will replace some things. I don't know what it's going to fully replace. I don't think it's going to replace the psychology or the mental health field completely, because as things have more technology and have more of a basis in technology just in general, human connection is going to be that much more important. The next generation of children, the next generation of kids who actually know how to speak to people, look them in the eye, have a conversation with them, don't have social anxiety, are going to be leaps beyond other kids who just haven't learned those skill sets because they're on their phone too much, they're on their computer too much, they're in this AI virtual reality world too much. And those kids, those children who have those people skills and those human connection skills, that ability to connect to another human being, is going to be the thing it's going to be the skill set that I actually think is going to be more sought after. And now, as psychologists, because we're in a people-based career, we understand the skill set, and so we are actually, I think, in a position where our jobs are not going to be fully replaced, because who can be more human than a human being? It's human beings. AI will never be more human than us. Now, AI, they will try and program AI to be more human, but at the end of the day, nothing can be more human than human beings. And so when it comes to human connection, we have those skill sets that are going to be really, really important. I think psychologists are going to be more consultants than ever as relates to AI, because people are going to be realizing that with this technology, it's going to negatively impact human interactions and human behaviors. And so we will have to come in as psychologists and as therapists and say less AI, less technology, and more human connection if we even want to continue to evolve as a species. Hopefully that gives you some things that I'm also kind of thinking about as well. Things that I've talked to my supervisors about, I've talked to other students and therapists about. It's real. And even in private practice, a lot of people are seeing less people come into their practice because they think that these people either economically aren't able to afford therapy as much. Insurance, right? Healthcare insurance is going up and the rates are going up. And so people are not maybe putting as much money into health insurance or putting as much money into therapy and things like that. But also, people are using AI for therapy. People are definitely doing that right now. And they may not be getting huge benefit from it. But again, if you use it as a consultant, if you use it for knowledge, you can get a lot out of it for free, essentially.